We welcome in a pair now that knows that better than anyone. Yes, it's the much cooler half of our studio crew, featuring the return of the coach that you don't recognize without the hat. He has 12 state championship rings. Ken Purcell returning to the studio for a 9th season along the reinforcement I had to call in this year to help me tame Tepper. She does it better than anyone. She's Ashley Pickle, and I believe for the first time on a Friday night, she's rocking heels. Pick, welcome to the fam.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, first time rocking heels, but you know, when they give you a call and say, hey, how about some more time to annoy Greg Tepper on a Friday night? I mean, Coach, you don't just like run to that opportunity. I'm talking like 4.5, like you're sprinting to it. But another two teams that have really sprinted out of the infancy that they're still in. What a better way to kick off of the season here with Manville and Shadow Creek. I mean, take a look at this. Manville going into their 15th season. Shadow Creek only going into their 5th varsity season. 5 undefeated regular seasons, a state championship for Shadow Creek. Coach, it's hard enough to lay a foundation of a program. When you talk about building an empire this quickly, what are the keys to that?
Well, the key word is consistency. The head coach has got to provide consistency, and that means consistency in our weekly workouts, our travel arrangements, all of those things. You want your kids to stay comfortable and let them know that you are providing consistency to the program. You saw in that graphic the percentages of regular season wins and playoff wins. These are well-grounded programs that have a solid base.
And no one knows consistency better than Coach Ken Purcell, Aaron. And I mean, these two teams really trying to keep that consistency going here tonight.
Thrilled to see you making that transition from the sidelines to the studio. She'll now get to brave the bougie indoor elements with us all season long here. Thrilled about it. And in fact, let's bring Coach and Pickle back in for this one, because I hear there's another pick in the Austin area and another senior looking to go out with a bang.
It is, Aaron. Let's talk about Dripping Springs quarterback Austin Novosad. This is a guy who is a household name, not only in Austin, but really in the entire state. Number 2 ranked quarterback in our DCTF class of 2023. Coach, when you take a look at what Austin Novosad brings to this Dripping Spring Tigers team, what are you seeing under center?
Well, his physical abilities, his physical size, speed, all of those things, but also his poise. If you watch him in the pocket, when there's things going on around him, he gets a great drop. He looks at the route. It's a get and go, we call it, or a stop and go. And you can see now he's going to lay it right in the pocket. It's a great pass. This next one, there's a lot of things going on around him, but he's able to keep his poise. He's throwing a corner route, which is one of the toughest routes to throw. Again, he lays it right in there. So having an asset like him on a football team as a head coach or as a quarterback coach, you love it.
He is, and Coach Zimmerman will be the first to tell you that fundamentally he's got it all down. This offseason, Aaron, his main focus, getting in the weight room and running a track. We know how important that is in Texas high school football.
Yeah, committed to continue his playing career up in Waco, up I-35. We'll see if that stands. We know he is a wanted product. Let's bring in Coach Ken Purcell and Ashley Pickle for a look at the other icon on the cover, the People's Champ, as we call him. Now, he has 7 Texas high school football coaches on staff, and Pick, I know we are rooting like heck for him in his head coaching debut next week.
We absolutely are, Aaron, and you hit the nail on the head, the People's Champ. It is the absolute perfect nickname. If you're lucky enough to know him, coaches, we both are, an electrifying just ball of energy Joey McGuire is, and while we might not know exactly what his scheme is, we can tell you he's a program builder. So what is it like to have to go from high school to college and continue that program building?
Well, I think one great advantage he had is he was an assistant at Baylor. You know, I've said, you take in contrast, Todd Dodge went from a head coach at South Lake Carroll to the head coach at the University of North Texas. And Todd will tell you that wasn't an easy transition because it is a different world, so to speak. The one thing that they have in common, though, and with Todd Dodge as well, is that they love kids. I've said for years, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the coaches that transfer that knowledge to those kids, I love you, you didn't play well, I love you anyway. If you listen to those two coaches, they talk that talk. And you can, X's and O's and athletes are everywhere. But if you convince them that you truly love them and care for them, that's the key.
Well, and he does that not only with the kids. I can tell you, Tep, you probably feel the same way as an unathletic journalist just there at the show. I mean, we were ready to run through a brick wall for him. How's that, Tep? You like that?
Hey,
So
listen,
glad to have you
again,
in studio, Pickle.
Again, reinforcement that I needed to keep your head small here this season, my friend. But she's absolutely right. It's about the kids. It's about the community. They get it, and so do we. Let's bring Coach and Pickle back in. As mentioned, Brad Butler has had some tremendous runners like dual threat quarterback Jamarian George. And I know there's one this year that kind of reminds you a bit of him. It's a junior with a high ceiling pick.
It is. Let's talk about Tyleek Burton. This guy, a junior running back who, when you look at him, size-wise, 5'7", really not that big, but man, he's a little water bug. What do you see when he gets out there on the field, Coach?
Well, he has great vision. He has the ability to cut back, but also he has the ability to plant his foot and turn up. You watch him here on this sweep, so to speak. Watch him, and now he sees a lane, 2 lanes he can go to. The one he takes, though, is straight upfield, and you love a kid, a back that'll put his foot in the ground, so to speak. Here he breaks tackles, 1, 2, 3, spins, and then he turns on the jets. People call him a little water bug sometimes, as you did, but the fact is he's 5'7", but he's a strong 5'7". He's got great body strength, upper body strength. His thighs, his lower legs are really strong. So there's one other aspect, a little back like that. Our linemen in Texas high school football today are getting bigger and bigger. A lot of times he gets behind the lineman and it's hard to find him. And all of a sudden he pops through a hole. And so he's just an all-around good athlete.
Well, and watch out too, because not only is he dynamic out of the backfield as a running back, used to play slot receiver, Aaron. So a little bit of hands on the kid as well.
Yeah, and he's a tremendous teammate. I know the first thing Tyleek mentioned at Media Day was that he's hoping to help quarterback Duke Butler. The Baby Shark song, that's what I was going. I don't know, you can tell I don't have kids yet. Let's get it over to Ashley Pickle, the aforementioned analyst with the coach and 12 state championship rings, Ken Purcell. Did you foresee this tonight, guys?
Man, I've got to say, you like Tepper said, Shadow Creek came in, and I think we all kind of expected them to at least have a little bit more of a veteran squad. But when you take a look at that defensive line, Coach, I mean, they have legitimately been the dominant force in this game so far. The defense as a whole has to be the story. Holding a Manville team to 0 points in the first half, what are you seeing out there that's working for them?
Well, not only is the defense playing great, they're very aggressive. They run to the ball. They can over-pursue and still make a play. Actually, the defense has enabled their offense time to work. You give us the ball, you give us the ball, you give us the ball, we're going to finally make something happen. It took them a while to get their defense going, but once you can see here, there's just nowhere to go. Manville has tried to run with the quarterback. They've tried to throw it deep. He doesn't have time to throw deep. So now they're trying the quick passes, and the secondary's all over it. They tried to run the quarterback, didn't have any success doing that. So the Manville coaches, this is going to be a great videotape for them to study tomorrow. They're going to see a lot of different things going on. But what they're really going to see is something you alluded to. They're getting whipped up front. The Shadow Creek defensive front is just out manhandling the other bunch.
They absolutely are. The energy and the quickness off the edge there, Aaron, I mean, it's been immaculate in the first half so far.
Brad Butler, he's got a remarkable thing cooking there at Shadow Creek. As we get it over to the other half of our studio crew for more on that Beast Texas clash in the 4A ranks pick.
You mentioned it. Let's head on out to Beast Texas. Take a look at this. We're going out to Tyler, number 2, Gilmer Buckeyes taking on Chapel Hill. We'll start off in the first quarter, and it will be Tyreek Tate taking it all the way back on the kickoff. How about that? He'll take it back, tied at 7-7. Later on in the first, screen pass coming there to running back Ashton Haynes. He will go the full way. Those Buckeyes of Gilmer, Texas, currently at halftime, up 34-14 on Jeff Reardon's Bulldogs of Tyler Chapel Hill. And Coach, we knew that the Buckeyes were going to have to replace superstar quarterback Brandon Tennyson. They're doing it with younger brother Caden Tennyson leading quarterback. What kind of a hole is that? Clearly, it hasn't mattered that much.
Well, Gilmer has a program, not just a team. They have a program. They've been back-to-back state championship games, and it's hard to get there. They may have not won, but it's hard to get there. But they have a program. They've got athletes. These are both proud programs, though. And Tep alluded to it earlier. This is the first game. You can lose the first game, and you can go and win a state championship. And so they're both feeling their ways through it. They're both having some success, though. So I think both coaches feel pretty good, but the Gilmer Buckeyes have got to feel real good.
Absolutely. Alan Metzel happy with his squad, but Aaron, you know, out of anyone, Jeff Reardon, he's going to have something to say to those Bulldogs here at halftime.
No doubt about it. And listen, fear the Reardon beard is the theme here tonight.
Yeah, but if Gilmer's found a quarterback, they're going to be very, very dangerous.